I never expected Ledger to share our seed phrase, but that is exactly what happened. Paul Tudor Jones has changed his tune on Bitcoin. There's so much to go over. I've got a couple of videos to show you. First, I just want to dive straight into the market cap. You can see we're down 1.3%, 1.17 trillion past 24 hours. We will dive into Bitcoin and Ethereum charts in a second there. Mainly red all over. Lido up 5.4. We will talk about why Lido is up. You can see Bitcoin, it is still above $27,059. Still over $500 billion, 500 billion, half a trillion, my apologies. We have come down and we are range bound, and we're sort of just bouncing up above that $27,000 level at the moment. It is going to be a little bit sideways for a while here. Ethereum 1826 doing a little bit better. Actually hasn't pulled back as much. Did dip down, still held above 1800, and it's holding nice and strong above there. Really range bound. Jumping into the bubbles here. Let's see if this page will load. Nope. We're stuck with this one here. What I love about banter bubbles here is if you jump into it, if it loads, there is a chat feature as well. You just sign up with Twitter. I do have an account with them. Fantastic service. Now, this is meme coin trading. A little bit of fun video, and then we'll get into the serious. We'll get into the fast facts. This is what trading meme coins be like, eh? Little bit of fun. All right, let's kill that. Now, Ledger. This is pretty insane, and it's both good and both bad. Shout out to Jason, everyone in the chat watching, and everyone watching the replay. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. If we vibe, I will get rid of that intro. My apologies, and remember, this is not financial advice. Now, Ledger, with what's happening here, they that back criticism, it's all over Twitter at the moment. It's the first thing I saw when I woke up this morning. Shout out to anyone up at 5 a.m. And they've got a lot of criticism over their new wallet recovery service. So you're saying this is not what customers want. Actually, this is what future customers want, says Ledger CEO Pascal. We will get into a video by Pascal in a second. Crypto wallet maker Ledger came under fire this week for its new Ledger recovery feature, which stores encrypted users' seed phrases with third-party custodians. You're saying this is not what customers want. Actually, this is what future customers want, he said. This is the way that the next hundreds of millions of people will actually onboard onto crypto. So the Ledger recover, when a person sets up a wallet, they are given a random string of words called a seed phrase that serves as a secret wallet recovery key. Users are instructed to write that phrase down, hide it away somewhere safe. But the seed phrase system has some obvious user experiences. If a person loses the phrase, they have no option for recovering their funds. Bada bing, bada boom, they are gone. And just as the phrase can be used to recover a wallet, it can be used to crack a wallet if it falls into the wrong hands. So Ledger confirmed speculation as introducing an optional, and remember this is optional, $9.99 per month seed phrase recovery service for its owners of NanoX wallet. When you subscribe to Ledger Recover, a pre-BIP39 version in your private key is encrypted, duplicated, and divided into 3 fragments, with each fragment secured by a separate company, CoinCover, Ledger, and an independent backup service provider. So they explain that. Each of these encrypted fragments is useless on its own. When you want to get access to your wallet, 2 of the 3 parties will send fragments back to your Ledger device, reassembling them to build your private key. People have had a lot of fear, which is perhaps unjustified, says Ian Rogers, Ledger's chief experience officer. Roger emphasized that Ledger was making its recovery service fully optional and was transparent about partnerships with third-party custodians. As a consumer, you have a choice and you should know who it is that you're trusting. Great to see that they give you the choice. This option, it probably will allow people to come in. Just yesterday, we were talking that custodial solutions need to be more user-friendly for mass adoption. So a step in the right direction. If you're like myself and you're willing to take full responsibility, be self-sovereign, don't enter into that. But for new people with a lot of money, it can be a little bit scary transferring to and from Ledger, and then you need to write this stuff down on a piece of paper, which is silly on a piece of paper, mainly stainless steel or something like that, titanium, and then split it up. But if you're not willing to go to that extent, $9.99, maybe that's the easiest way to go about it. So we'll rip through these real quick. Got a couple of things to show you. 1 million, and I'll get to a video by the CEO of Ledger in a sec. So 1 million individual wallets now hold a whole Bitcoin. Well done to everyone out there holding a whole Bitcoin. Individual wallets holding at least one Bitcoin sets a milestone figure earlier this week, suggesting long-term sentiment for the tokens remain intact even as broader markets weigh down Bitcoin prices. Now, a couple of stories here that I want to link together. Peter Thiel backs Bitcoin startup River in $35 million round. Bitcoin technology and financial service company River has raised $35 million in a Series B round led by investment firm Kingsway Capital with participation from billionaire investor Peter Thiel. So they offer a wide range of Bitcoin-related services for individuals, businesses, including a brokerage that offers zero-fee, dollar-cost averaging, mining, full reserve custody, and a wallet that supports both on-chain transactions and transactions on the Lightning Network. A Bitcoin scaling solution that settles transactions off-chain for faster speeds and lower fees. Good to see. Now link that in with this one. Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital Link startup Auradine raises 81 mil. Auradine, a Silicon Valley-based the first thing I saw was SVB, not Silicon Valley Bank, but Silicon Valley-based provider of web infrastructure solutions, has emerged from stealth and announced 81 mil Series A funding round. So they're founded in 22. Auradine is developing a broad range of infra across hardware and software, including energy-efficient silicon, zero-knowledge proofs, a blockchain-based privacy tool, AI solutions for decentralized applications. Now, the reason why I bring that up, or bring this here, is we're going to get into an article by Peter Thiel on Squawkbox, and he's changing his tune a little bit. So I just want to show you both sides of the argument here. Hopefully this video, yeah, the sound's off. That's fantastic. Before I do, let's just listen to this video by Ledger. Here, we won't play all of it, but I think they sum it up better than anyone else can. So let me hit play.
Hello, I'm Charles Guillemet, CTO at Ledger. I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce a new service. Ledger Recover is an optional subscription for users who want a backup of their secret recovery phrase so they can restore access to their wallets whenever, wherever, even if they have lost or broken their Ledger Nano and don't have their recovery sheet with them. For some people, it's a very convenient service, but some others simply don't need it. You can continue managing your secret recovery phrase all by yourself if that's why you bought a Ledger at the first place.
So there you go. At the end of the day, you've got the choice whether you use it or not. For people that aren't so sure, they can jump in there easy as. Let's stop playing that. So that's what they have to say. Now, on to Paul Tudor Jones, an amazing capital allocator, hedge fund manager. Bitcoin has a real problem in US. Billionaire hedge fund managers also said lower inflation is also going to be a headwind for crypto. Hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones said that Bitcoin has become less attractive thanks to what's become an unfriendly reg picture in the US, and what he expects will be lower inflation going forward. Bitcoin has a real problem because in the United States, you have the entire reg apparatus against it, Jones said. Last October, however, Jones described his allocation to Bitcoin as minor, saying that cash is the place to be as long as the Fed can be trusted to get a handle on inflation. Really, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you need to take your investing into your own hands and choose what you do and don't go into. For me, it is Bitcoin, and I have a longer time frame, but also gold and silver are good options right now. And then there's different plays like Ethereum and BNB, which we're going to get into in a sec. But you just need to be able to watch the markets and get in and get out at the right time, or have a longer term time frame and book the fastest horse in the race. One thing Paul Tudor Jones did say is it's not selling his Bitcoin. He hasn't reduced his stack. He's just not buying at the moment there. Just see in the bottom right corner there, the fear and greed indicator is at 54. So we are in neutral territory. Would be nice to stay out here for a little bit longer as well. So going over to Ethereum, this is Lido, and we saw that they were up today on the band to bubbles here. Let me drag it over. There we go. So with that, let's get it. Users can now unstake their staked ETH and receive ETH at a 1-to-1 ratio. Lido upgraded to its second version on Ethereum later Monday, sending LDO, its native governance token, up 10% to $2.15 past 24 hours. Users can now unstake their staked ETH and receive ETH at a 1-to-1 ratio, which takes about a day for most users if they execute on the Beacon chain. Is empty according to a blog post. The maximum time that it might take is 5 days and 14 hours. Users, they also receive an NFT as an intermediate step between requesting to unstake and claiming one's ETH. Afterwards, you use that NFT to claim their ETH rewards and the NFT is burned. You can trade it on the secondary market, but they don't see that playing a major role there either. So Lido, they command about 80% market share of liquid staking derivatives on Ethereum. Lido has already withdrawn, check this out, more than 278,000 ETH at press time. They are the fourth largest entity doing ETH withdrawals. Lido said that the new V2 received 9 total audits from several firms such as StateMine and MixBytes. All have been completed except for one by Auxario, which is expected to finish at the end of May. Please let us know in the comments if you are using Lido. I need to do a little bit more research myself. I am thinking about it, but I don't like the thought of handing over my tokens and not being in control, having full custody of it. So that's where I'm at with that, but I'd like to know what's going on with you. Now, over to the EU. This is incredibly great for crypto in general, very bullish for the state. EU's crypto legal framework inches towards law with finance ministers sign off. Fantastic. So the landmark, my apologies, markets and crypto assets regulation was given final approval by the EU Council, which also agreed a new law for sharing data on crypto tax holdings. We need to pay our taxes. The EU's Council, which represents 27 member states, unanimously approved the markets and crypto assets regulation, MICA, making the bloc set to be the first major jurisdiction in the world with the crypto licensing regime. It also agreed new anti-money laundering AML measures on crypto fund transfers. I'm very pleased that today we're delivering on our promise to start regulating the crypto asset sector. Very pleased they're doing it too. I think that's fantastic. BNB. Now, BNB relies a lot on Binance, what happens there with the exchange, CZ being a good actor. I think he is, but it's still putting the power into someone. But BNB, if all that works out, Binance stays good. There's not too much FUD there. I think it could be a good one to stack a little bit of, obviously not financial advice for sure, for the bull run as we ramp up more and more next year. And we've got about 11.5 months to be able to stack. Weekly DEX volume on BNB chain hits highest in a year, and we're in the middle of a bear market. So weekly trading volume on Binance BNB chain reached its highest level in a year, an uptick in popularity, perhaps as a result of US regulators clamping down on centralized exchanges. Uniswap being deployed onto BNB chain a few months ago, alongside Binance being the largest crypto exchange, has brought more trading volume to the chain. One thing they didn't say in the article was meme season. everyone investing into frogs and Gensler coins. So I think that probably had a little bit to play with it as well, but they are gaining more and more momentum. Having Uniswap on there is incredibly good for the space because everyone's used to Uniswap, and Ethereum can be so expensive. So we'll see. We'll continue to monitor it, but at the moment, I'm liking it for a very small allocation. Now, and that's just me. You do you. This is an interesting article. I'll see if I can get this a little bit better. I'll just sum it up real quick. I've got another screen, which I didn't load this morning. Bear with me for 2 secs. I know it's a blank screen. I'll get this fixed for you. There we go. Thanks for bearing with me this morning. Now, tokenization is the way to realize Biden's electric vehicle overhaul. Couple of things I want to point out here. So new regulations put forth by the Environmental Protection Agency, at least 54% of all new vehicles made in the United States must be electric by 2030. Now remember 2030, we've talked about the year 2030 a lot lately, and this is going to link up very shortly. A blockchain solution isn't just a necessity for realizing the supply chain, it is the only way to have transparency and ensure human rights as the United States transitions off fossil fuels. I agree with that. That's why I am so bullish on blockchain technology for industry as well. It provides users, consumers, businesses total transparency verification. Now, see this, 2030, the World Economic Forum, they've got an agenda for 2030, has even introduced an entire mandate on this front with over 100 partnered organizations titled Redesigning Trust with Blockchain in the Supply Chain. The project aims to co-design an open source toolkit which will streamline the deployment of blockchain throughout a broad and diverse sector. Shout out to John Carter. Shout out to everyone watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's carry on. Blockchain is moving away from speculative cryptocurrencies to digital assets backed by real-world commodities. A number of stablecoin projects such as Paxos are backed by precious metals like gold. Same with CLF on Arbitrum Collective Finance, they're backed up by gold as well. And more raw materials like lithium are likely to follow this trend. In order to get here, a total revamp of domestic and foreign supply chains is needed. Luckily, the Biden administration just gave the green light. It is good to see that is happening for sure. Remember the agenda for 2030, the Great Reset, is coming out. Some things are good. The ideals behind it are great. Sustainability, looking after the environment, the soil, looking after the oceans. Just the way they want to do it, where you will own nothing and be happy. That's what I don't like. And they want to own everything, basically. We'll continue to keep you updated. We can't really do much with the matrix, the suits. All we can do is take responsibility for ourselves, be prepared as much as possible, and profit off it. So ESG is going to be a huge agenda. It's just going to keep ramping up and up and up. And it is what it is. The ethos behind it is good. It is going to put out a lot of industries, and I don't like that. But I want to be able to profit and set myself up and my family and my friends over the next couple of years. We have that opportunity. Kaido Protocol, they've got a blockchain launching in about 53 days maybe, and they are the first blockchain neutral blockchain. So that layer one scaling, well, layer one, which is fantastic. It's going to be revolutionary. When that comes out, obviously not financial advice, just a project that I've liked for a very long time. Now, the SEC, joyful SEC. SEC seeks denial of Coinbase petition for imminent crypto rules. Well done, the SEC. What great people. So concerns over the SEC's response is certain that they will happily continue overseeing the sector via regulation as enforcement. The SEC has finally given a formal response in court, stating that any rulemaking may take years and that enforcement actions will continue in the meantime. Would you expect anything less? No, I'm being a little bit biased here. So the SEC acknowledged that it will continue to use enforcement actions as a substitute for rulemaking for the foreseeable future, but not to worry. Those enforcement actions may eventually inform not yet planned rulemaking. Now, this just turns into a comedy really quickly. SEC Chair Gary Gensler, he delivered a keynote speech at the Financial Market Conference, arguing that rules for crypto were already published and were sufficient. Thanks, Gary. Nobody in the industry agrees. Interestingly, in its recent filing, the SEC distanced itself from any public comments and views of its chair, though it appears to be more in relation to comments regarding Gensler's views that most crypto is classified as a security. The SEC also said that the public statements made by Chair Gensler are not formal guidance or policy statements from the SEC, and the public cannot rely on them as such. WTF. He's the chair. The SEC themselves won't back him up, and we're not to take anything he says as guidance or policy statements. What is the crypto industry? What is anyone meant to do when Clown World is in control? That's insane. There's more of the article here, but overall the SEC's response reinforces Coinbase's long-standing concern that our industry does not have clarity on what the SEC may consider to be within or outside its jurisdiction at any time, and it is likely to continue changing its mind along the way. Crazy. So it's wild. Eventually we will get there. Obviously MICA has happened. Ledger, you can either opt in or opt out. That's totally up to you. So we'll see what happens over the coming weeks, months, years, obviously, with the SEC. With Bitcoin, Paul Tudor Jones, he's not as bullish, he's not selling anything, but there is a lot of large-scale investors coming into the space, something to keep your eye on. I think it is going to be an exciting 24, 25, once we get to the Bitcoin halving. And I think over the rest of the year, we're just going to start trending slowly up and to the right. Have said for a while, around 35 at the end of the year, maybe 42. And anyway, we will be up, down, and sideways probably every day. But between now and then, we'll see you on the next one. Be blessed.